Hello, and welcome to the Summer 2015 Worksite Training. My name is Farah Farnese, and I am the Director of Partnerships for Employment Pathways here at the Philadelphia Youth Network. We thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you'll learn a lot about the WorkReady system and how to be a stellar worksite for the summer program. Today we're going to go through a couple different things: an overview of the WorkReady system and summer models, what makes a quality worksite and the roles and responsibilities, resources for worksites, as well as program logistics. So first, what is WorkReady Philadelphia? For those of you who are not familiar with the program, WorkReady Philadelphia is a cross-sector partnership dedicated to improving the economic outcomes of the region's youth by attracting, aligning, and investing resources in youth workforce development models. The strategies of the WorkReady models are aligned with the goals of the Philadelphia Council for College and Career Success, a committee of the Philadelphia Works Board. WorkReady's year-round and summer programming provides thousands of young people annually with career preparation, opportunities designed to enhance their understanding and mastery of skills needed to become active and productive citizens. Why summer programs? Recent research emphasizes the need for early, career-focused interventions. Youth who are uncertain about career paths have significantly lower wages in adulthood and less favorable outcomes in the areas of personal adjustment and career maturity. So working with high school interns, I want to highlight the difference between an intern and a part-time employee. So an intern is a student or recent graduate undergoing supervised practical training in a professional setting. Internships are educational work experience, and it's important to remember that they're learning their 21st century skills and they're still developing. Use all available opportunities as teachable moments. On the other hand, a part-time employee is an employee who works in a regular position but is scheduled to work less than full-time hours and is not necessarily undergoing supervised training. Keep in mind with the WorkReady program, you should treat young people as interns versus the part-time employee. Now we'll talk a little bit about the WorkReady summer models. WorkReady Philadelphia is managed by the Philadelphia Youth Network, which serves as the backbone organization for WorkReady's collective impact efforts. Traditionally, PIN contracts with providers that recruit worksites and directly manage the youth in these work experiences. However, in this particular program model, PIN's Partnership for Employment Pathways department directly manages these functions and operates as both the intermediary and provider. So an overview of the summer models. The first model is service learning. Service learning programs should employ teaching and learning strategies designed for youth with an interest in civic service and little or no prior work experience. These programs will allow youth to collectively address real-world issues, problems, and needs within the local, regional, national, or global community. Youth will work in groups in a wage-bearing experience to explore real-world challenges through research, reflection, and project development, as well as through direct service and/or advocacy. The work experience model provides a structured, wage-bearing work experience for youth with little or no prior work experience. Participants will engage in structured experiences on a worksite that reflects their career interest. Participants also complete a work-based learning project that demonstrates knowledge of a specific career area of their worksite. These programs will be required to provide intentional skill development and ongoing interaction with a trained adult supervisor. The third is the internship model, which offers an advanced opportunity for youth with their prior employment and/or leadership experience. These wage-bearing experiences provide youth with exposure to professional careers otherwise not accessible to the teenage population, opportunities to develop and refine 21st century skills, and engagement in ongoing professional development workshops. These internships provide the opportunity for youth to work closely with a trained adult supervisor who will serve in an instructional role throughout the duration of the experience. As a note, all work sites hosting youth through the program model that is directly managed through our department will follow the internship model. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the program structure of the WorkReady system. Youth who participate in WorkReady must be 14 to 21 years of age as of July 6, 2015, They also must be Philadelphia residents and eligible to work in the United States. Male participants who are 18 years of age on or before July 6th must register with Selective Service. Youth who matriculated into post-secondary opportunities are not eligible to apply. Since you're attending this training, your particular business partnership specialist has already determined that yours is a high-quality worksite. However, we're going to review the components that make up the high-quality worksite and the roles and responsibilities so that you understand the definition in order to maintain expectations. So what is a quality worksite? Our definition is that high-quality worksites facilitate a progressive and meaningful work experience by exposing youth to the skills necessary to compete in a 21st century global economy. To be considered a quality worksite must provide youth with exposure to meaningful real-world learning opportunities, professional connections, and career awareness. It must connect youth to a caring adult who provides work-related support, feedback, and promotes the development of 21st century skills. And finally, provides a safe environment that adheres to all laws and regulations governing youth participation in the workforce and comply with all youth safety measures outlined by the Philadelphia Youth Network. So with this in mind, the Philadelphia Youth Network has identified the roles and responsibilities necessary to producing high-quality work-ready experiences. These roles include Philadelphia Youth Network, the program contact, in this case, the business partnership team, the worksite coordinator and supervisor, the physical workspace, and the youth. So let's start with the Philadelphia Youth Network's role in developing the high-quality worksites. Our role is to support the network in all aspects of program administration, provide and facilitate accessible trainings, like the one you're doing today, provide assistance in implementing the project-based learning component, and provide technical assistance for orientations, registration, payroll, and etc. We also provide opportunities to develop partnerships with participating organizations, facilitate best practice sharing opportunities between organizations and worksites, and develop the mandatory worksite agreement and clearance policies. As a reminder, this is in our role as an intermediary, and so therefore we facilitate and coordinate worksite satisfaction surveys and also facilitate incident reporting. The business partnership specialist role, which is in relation to their direct management, supports in establishing and maintaining realistic expectations, ensures that worksite coordinators, supervisors, and youth have clear understanding of the components and expectations of the work experience, visit worksites twice for each program model and/or year, including for the worksite agreement completion and one for an evaluation or monitoring visit. And we also ensure that all worksites complete the various agreements and submit clearances to their PIN representative. Additionally, the business partnership team will maintain communications with worksites for feedback and debrief, maintain a youth feedback opportunities during weekly debrief sessions, provide and support project-based learning assignments for youth, and follow incident reporting procedure for immediate contact internally with our PIN staff. Now we'll talk a little bit about the worksite coordinator role. The worksite coordinator is a full-time staff member at the worksite who is responsible for maintaining communications with Philadelphia Youth Network, the business partnership specialist staff, and the worksite supervisors at his or her organization. Worksite coordinators are required to follow the clearance policy prescribed by the Philadelphia Youth Network. Worksite coordinators are also responsible for completing and complying with the worksite agreement, submit the clearances as we just mentioned, adhere to the required supervisor to youth ratio, which in the case of the internship is 3 interns to every 1 supervisor. They're also required to attend a worksite orientation prior to youth arrival, which you're doing today. Additionally, worksite coordinators ensure that youth are provided a safe learning environment, maintain consistent communication with the business partnership specialists, follow incident reporting procedures, and when applicable, perform any or all responsibilities of the worksite supervisor. Moving on to the worksite supervisor, this is a staff member at the worksite who monitors the day-to-day experiences for youth. Worksite supervisors also must comply with the Worksite agreement and should attend an orientation before youth arrival, so feel free to share this information with your supervisors. Support youth in setting and maintaining realistic goals and expectations, and establish a safe learning environment that promote 21st century work readiness skills and other identified skill sets. Additionally, Worksite supervisors support youth in various aspects of project-based learning component, facilitates youth debrief and reflection opportunities, follows the incident reporting procedure, and when applicable, performs all responsibilities of the Worksite coordinator. Worksite responsibilities, this is really around the space of the worksite in general, and a worksite must display all relevant employment posters, including but not limited to OSHA, EEO, and child labor law. Ensure that the completed worksite agreement and interns' work schedules is posted in an area visible to the intern. Include all relevant youth safety materials on site, including but not limited to accessible bathrooms, water fountains, first aid kits, telephones, fire extinguishers, and fire routes. The worksite also must adhere to the safety program contact certification checklist as listed on the worksite agreement, and identify a worksite coordinator and supervisor. However, no matter how much preparation you put in beforehand, you may still have questions and concerns about the WorkReady program. But don't worry, we have multiple resources to help you out, and we're going to spend some time going through these resources online. We want to spend some time showing you the Worksite Toolkit. This is where most of the Worksite resources will be found that you can access throughout the course of the summer program. To find the Worksite Toolkit, you can simply go to pyninc.org. Once you get to our home page, you can go to What Sets Us Apart, select Resources, and it'll take you down, and right here where you see Worksite Resources, you can select View Worksite Toolkit. The Worksite Toolkit has several sections, including Getting Involved with WorkReady, Worksite Resources, and these resources are broken out into before, during, and throughout the summer program. Worksite Compliance, so all the various postings and rules and regulations, as well as trainings and FAQs. Let's jump down to some of the Worksite resources. As you can see here, we have Developing and Preparing for a Quality Experience. Here you'll have a lot of information, for example, recruiting staff to work with youth. As you can see, you click on the resource and it opens up into a PDF. As we go down, one of the other items on the preparing or tools for interviewing and onboarding, please make sure to spend some time reviewing the designing an orientation as well as the orientation checklist. These are very important things that we want to make sure that you're covering with young people before they actually start work. So think about doing this on their first day. As we scroll further down, there's other things while they're on site. So for example, giving feedback, goal setting, suggested activities for young people. So come here if you're not sure what to do, and if there's some downtime, there's some resources here. Finally, I want to direct your attention to our timesheet information. So please review the timesheet guidelines. There's a lot of really great information to help you submit the timesheet correctly so that young people will be paid in a timely manner. And finally, here's a sample timesheet for you to review. Please make sure to look at all of the various details. The thing that I really want to point out is that we need supervisor initials daily as well as a signature before we can process payroll. So please make sure that that is completed on your end before giving the timesheet off to the student. If you'd like to simply access the Worksite Toolkit directly, you can go to www.pyninc.org/toolkit. And don't forget, your business partnership specialist is always here to help you if you have additional questions about the program. Keep in mind as a supervisor that you want to design a comprehensive orientation for the intern's first day of work. If the intern does not know the rules, they can't follow them. Also, be sure to be specific about dress code and expectations. Give clear instructions on projects that you're giving to students. Often, it's best to do it once with them to make sure they know what they're doing and you view this as correct, because they might have a different idea of what a final outcome is. Give them a template or a completed example of what the finished product should be. Also, tell them how their work matters. For example, if you're having interns do a large mailing, explain what this is for. Is it a fundraiser? Are you trying to get people to apply? If they understand what the small projects are to the larger thing, they'll be more engaged. This is a learning opportunity, so teach them what they need to know. Make sure that if they're listening to their iPods too loud, tell them. If their email is not professional, take a minute and tell them. These are really important things that you want to make sure you're using as a teaching moment with these interns. And finally, have backup projects ready. The interns work very quickly, so it's always best to have a backup project for students to work on if they run out of their projects. Now we're going to discuss some of the basic logistics of the WorkReady Summer Program. So, before young people arrive, the Business Partnership Specialist will visit your site to discuss program expectations, everything that they need to know about the program. During this visit, they ideally will also complete the Worksite agreement and outline the criminal clearance policy under the PIN policy. Please be aware that if you as an organization are interested in having clearances done for your interns, that is the responsibility of the employer for any costs associated and often to coordinate this. If you have any questions, please contact your business partnership specialist to come up with a strategy if that's a requirement of your site. Finally, a business partnership specialist will also visit during the program to complete what we call a Worksite monitoring form. Also, before youth arrive, you will be doing interviews. Interviews will occur between May through June. If you're not sure of your interview date, please make sure to connect with your business partnership specialist. We also have sample job descriptions listed on the Worksite toolkit, and you should definitely identify job titles prior to interviews. So the start of the summer program runs Monday, July 6th through Friday, August 14th. Interns work approximately 120 hours over the course of the 6 weeks, which is approximately 20 hours per week. 18 of those hours spent at the worksite and 2 hours spent at the Friday professional development seminars facilitated by PIN staff. We will send an midpoint assessment at the end of week 3 / the beginning of week 4, and interns should be around 60 hours at that point. If interns are above or below, they can make up hours or adjust the hours for the second point of the program. Keep in mind the 120 hours is the goal that we're looking for. So while the 20 hours a week is a standard, that can be adjusted if necessary. So while students are on site, here are a few things to keep in mind. Transportation. Students are not allowed in personal vehicles. If you do need to transport young people from meetings and so forth, we urge you to take public transportation or cabs when possible. If you do have certified company vehicles, that is allowed, but we highly recommend public transportation as the best option. Field trips. If you'd like to take a young person off-site outside of just a meeting, for example, if you're going to take them to a large event and they'll be gone for an entire day, please notify your BPS prior to bringing the interns on that trip. We do have sample permission slips that you can use if you'd like to share that with the students and their parents, and so forth. Volunteering hours. Students are not allowed to volunteer hours and need to be paid for all hours that they work. So even if they want to stay longer, they either need to be paid for that additional time or they're not able to stay. With dress code, please make sure to spend some time reviewing proper dress attire with your interns. Provide them with an example of staff that they should model, or if possible, provide them with a uniform that they can use throughout the entire internship experience. Finally, on excessively hot days, we know how summer in Philadelphia can get. Be sure to use your discretion when permitting students to report to work, especially if their work is outside or in an unair-conditioned space. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about how young people get paid. So through the WorkReady system, young people receive a debit card, and that's where their funding goes to on a bi-weekly basis. So as technology becomes more of our everyday lives, in an effort to incorporate 21st century skills, we want to make sure that students aren't getting your typical check and going to check cashing places, but having the payment go in this fashion, which is in a more electronic payment. Each week, professional development seminars are conducted for all interns in this internship program. These professional development seminars take place on Fridays at Thomas Jefferson University. We have 3 sessions that students will attend, and as we mentioned before, each session is about 2 hours long. It is extremely important that your interns know what time that they are attending the sessions, and it is a mandatory component of their internship experience. So please stress that to the interns and make sure that they are aware where they need to report and when they do need to report. The seminars are really structured to debrief their work week and also hone in on some of those 21st century skills. We're going to ask your support in the project plans for the professional development. First of all, we'll be giving you a guide that will help you support the young people in their portfolio. Within their portfolio, they will be completing a final project, an action plan. They'll be asked to do some interviews with colleagues, collecting of business cards. While the young people are on your site during the 18 hours, we're expecting about 2 hours of time to be spent on their portfolio. As I mentioned, you'll have a guide that will help you support their projects, and we really hope that you set aside this time for them to do that support. If you have any additional questions throughout the course of the summer program, you can always contact your business partnership specialist, or you can contact me directly. Once again, I'm Farah Farnese, the Director of Partnerships for Employment Pathways, and you can see my email and phone number there. This concludes our training for the Worksite coordinators and supervisors for the WorkReady Summer Program. We thank you for taking the time to sit with us today, and as we just mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.